welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Thank you so much for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at what Nigerian newspapers are saying about the Edo governorship election and, of course, other headlines on today's newspapers. And for all of that, we are being rejoined by Ombudsman of This Day and Arise Media Group and This Day Newspaper Limited's Group Executive Director, Mr. Kayode Komolafe. Mr. KK, welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, KK.
I'm pleased to be here.
It's a marathon today.
Yes.
And thanks for staying with us.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we'll start the newspaper review with This Day. On Sunday, the newspaper records. The lead story, of course, predictably, is about the Edo election. And of course, the headline focuses on what we had mentioned earlier. APC claims victory in 13 Edo local government areas. PDP protests suppression of votes in 3 Populous local governments. And the riders, Akpabio, Obaseki, Sanwo-Olu, Abiodun, Oborewore, Otu, Aiyedatiwa, storm INEC office. That's a whole load of sitting governors there. Police arrest suspect for vote buying. KK would prefer to say bribery. Other offenses. Oshiomhole denies vote buying allegation against APC. That story is on page 5 of today's newspaper. And we can see the cover pictures showing the 3 leading candidates, casting their ballots during yesterday's election. That's the APC candidate there, Okpebholo, the PDP candidate, Asue Godalo, and the Labour Party candidate, who we are told lost in his polling unit, Olumide Akpata. On top of the lead story, Air Chief, federal government delivered 12 aircraft to NAF in 1 year, says more to be delivered in coming months. CDS restates Armed Forces commitment to restoring peace. That story is also on page 5 of today's paper. I jump to the window story where it has the headline reports. 6 banks paid 453.71 billion naira as levies, insurance premium to AMCON NDIC in H1 2024. And last but not the least is a story on page 6 of today's This Day, which we handled. Shaitan, read it beautifully out yesterday. Tinubu, Shetima, Akpabio, others eulogize First Lady on her 64th birthday. So other people have joined the president in eulogizing his wife on her 64th birthday. Yesterday, when we had that story, it would look like Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president of Nigeria, is a kind of a Romeo, with the way that, I was tempted to say that anybody who drafted or picked the president's brain to put that into words deserve, if not a promotion, at least a commendation. We know those who will not have written it because of what has happened, but whoever wrote that beautiful piece, making the president look like a Romeo, a dandy, and everything, that was beautiful. And I believe that the First Lady will have appreciated it. Those are the stories on the cover of This Day, KK.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. Yeah, so I think congratulations will still be in order to the First Lady. And we should join the president in wishing her a happy birthday, and many happy returns. Now, apart from the Edo story, which is the story of the day, which is you have on the cover of all the newspapers we have to review this morning. It's a very important story too on the front page of This Day, and that is in terms of security. Mm-hmm. On this note, on a very positive one, the air chief, acknowledging that so far that the Air Force, has received 12 aircraft, and they are still expecting more aircraft, to get the Air Force equipped. Because while we will reflect on the challenges of insecurity, one refrain has always been that the federal government should do all that is necessary, to get the armed forces, all the security agencies equipped so that they'll be able to, tackle the criminals, because there's always this saying that, oh, how can you tackle insecurity when the bandits or the terrorists are even better equipped than those who are supposed to tackle them, and giving the pivotal role that the Air Force has to play, in tackling insecurity, especially, terrorism and banditry, is a good step that the government is equipping them. Actually, the air chief made a statement at the graduation of course 10 2024 from the work college, and we will also use this, as a basis to further encourage, the government that, other armed forces as well as security agencies, especially the police, should also be well equipped, both in terms of equipment, training, and also, the motivation, of the personnel, so that they'll be able to perform that constitutional duty of ensuring the security of Nigerians. And of course, that will invariably then bring us to the Edo election. So if you like, I may say the story of this day, maybe if you like, is already overtaken by events. But then it's still very relevant what it is. I think the moment that now, no party should take any preemptive step. INEC should be should receive the cooperation of all stakeholders or all parties to conclude the election. Announce the results. Then all the parties then will be free to react. Depending on the way they perceive it. But I think the election has been largely conducted in a peaceful manner. The urge now should be that we should ensure a peaceful conclusion, of the election according to the law, and that INEC at this stage, should also ensure that the fears, of all parties, are laid, by ensuring that the procedure, is scrupulously followed, and that the law, the rules, are applied, because, like I said, this is a very critical stage. If anything goes wrong at this stage, the successes recorded yesterday, by ensuring that there was a secure atmosphere, things went smoothly. It will come to naught if you don't have a conclusion on the election.
Yeah, absolutely, Mr. Komolafe. But I just wanted to highlight the fact that, there's a statement that's been released by the, I believe, Election Observer Group, and they've talked about the fact that they witnessed a lot of discrepancies during the elections, and they have urged INEC to invoke, I believe, Section 65 of the Electoral Act, which stipulates that they have to also make sure that where there is discrepancy, all those ballot papers that are not transcribed properly, or where there's ballot paper results that are not properly inputted and put in the IREV should be brought out. I hope that they are able to listen. I'm talking about INEC. I mean, given that not just the PDP have claimed that there's been discrepancies, other voters have also talked about the fact that there was a lot of suppression in some serious polling units. Your thoughts on that before we move on to another paper?
Yes, absolutely. That is in concrete terms. And that's what I meant when I was saying that at this stage, INEC has to, demonstrate the fact that it's complying with the law. That is, it has to be clear to all, that it's following the law. And that point precisely is why it is important, for people to ensure that we have a peaceful atmosphere, for INEC to conclude, because all those steps, all those decisions, it is at this stage that INEC can now take those decisions. Because if you remember, when they are doing the collation, it could get to a point, maybe a particular officer, maybe from a local government or whatever, gives his report, and then at that point, it could be ruled that it's not acceptable. It's acceptable, based on all this. I think INEC definitely has the sufficient experience, you know. I'm talking of institutional memory, you know, to be brought to bear in dealing with any eventuality, you know.
Yeah.
So I agree
Absolutely.
that if there are complaints, issues raised, all those issues should be considered according to the law, and where it is possible to make, to rectify things, you know, to correct, you know, those errors, it would be good, you know,
Right.
for them to be.
All right, I think we
yeah.
can do a run-through of all the papers. Let's just quickly take this day style, and then we can just go through on some of these headlines before we wrap up newspaper review. A cover picture there on this day style is Mojisola Homponu Wusu. She's a global finance expert. They say Mojisola is a force to be reckoned with in the financial world. She's known for her sharp mind and keen eye for opportunities, and has made a name for herself as a powerhouse in financial advisory in the finance industry, coming from a background rooted in perseverance and hard work. Musu's entrepreneurial mother was a keen eye for business, instilled in her the values of determination and resilience from an early age, and these values have shaped her career trajectory and drive for success. Congratulations to her. I mean, she does seem like a powerhouse, and it will be a good read for our viewers. I guess, you know, we should all pick up this day style. We also have our online version as well. Steve, would you like to take
All right, yes.
Tribune?
Sunday Tribune has an interesting collage of stories outside of the lead, which is on Edo. You know, Edo decides new governor emerges today. But if you look at the collage of the other stories, right from the window stories, they are interesting. The first one says, hope rises for sickle cell sufferers as Luth, a foundation treat patients with bone marrow transplants. I think that this is an important development, given that what we hear these days is that you require about $25,000 in India, you know, to have that sort of transplant done for a sickle cell patient. The other story is a good one for non-teaching staff of Uni Osun, and the governor there, Adeleke, announces salary increase for teaching teaching and non-teaching staff of Uni Osun.
Fantastic story.
It is. I mean, that's the kind of a thing that you want to
news
hear. You know, isn't it?
Yes.
Too good news.
Mr. Komolafe right here in the studio
We
would
kidnapped
like
for 4 hours
kidnapped
today.
for 4 hours. Would like to
With no
thank
ransom
you.
paid.
Don't worry, Steve Ayorinde is up to the task. He can't be sitting down here with Angel and not be up to the task. We'd like to thank you very much for joining us on this special coverage, and especially the newspaper review. Thank you very much indeed,
I'm pleased
Mr.
to be here.
Komolafe.
Thank you, KK.